So I guess here goes my rant for the day. I've been asked to describe my opinion on this Arizona law. Well, before I go into the Arizona law and what my stance on it is, let me say my stance on immigration in the first place. You can't dam a river without an outlet. The river will burst the dam. That's the first thing. Immigration is going to happen whether people want it or not. It's the natural course of things. And all those modern nativists, because you're no different than the nativists from the last few centuries, who whine and cry about immigration, how you're losing jobs, how the culture's changing, blah, blah, blah. You're exactly the same as the nativists who used to complain about your great grandparents. Because the fact of the matter is, if immigration laws existed back then as they do it today, where only a very small amount of uneducated people could make it in, where only professionals or rich people or people with connections, or maybe a country that the US is trying to gain favor from, so they're helping the refugees. If you didn't belong to any of those categories, if you were just an uneducated person trying to have a new beginning, well, you weren't getting in the US if they had the laws that they have today, and this wouldn't be the land of opportunity. The US gained the moniker of land of opportunity because it gave opportunities to people that didn't have one where they were at. Fact of the matter is, the majority of immigrants that came here, your forefathers, had shitty lives in Europe, which they were escaping. So when you look down at the Mexican, at the Central American who struggles to get here, well, remember that your forefathers crossed the ocean packed like rats in stinky ships with no education, no skills, to come here and become day laborers. 10, 12 people packed in a room, just like modern illegal immigrants. They were no different. And the nativists back then didn't like them either. So until immigration laws create a viable way for uneducated but willing to work hard people to migrate here, you're going to have illegal migration. What they should do is open the doors for immigration, but make punitive measures for lawbreakers that are immigrants much higher. In other words, we'll let you in, but don't fuck up. Because if you fuck up, you're going to wish you were back home. That's how you solve the problem of immigration. You get the people who deserve to be in here to come in, and you make life miserable for those who decide to come in and break our laws. Because they shouldn't have all the full protection of the American Constitution until they've earned it. But you still let them in to prove that they deserve that protection and to give them a chance to earn that right. In other words, they should be allowed in on probation. And the only way you can put a person on probation is if you know who's in the first place. But if you make it illegal, no matter what they do to get in here, then they're going to come in illegally. They're not going to stop at the border. They're not going to try to do it the right way if there is no right way for them to get in here. And that's the problem with immigration. A lot of nativists try to make it about race. Please, when I hear stuff like, oh, Mexican Americans don't do anything, oh, where's we, the white race, accomplished this or that, please, that's like one pile of mud telling another pile of mud, we have a lot of diamonds in our mud pile. You're still mud. You're not the diamond. So trying to claim that one group has more or less, which is debatable, is irrelevant. Because if you're not a diamond, if you're not somebody that accomplished something great, you're still just an ordinary person. In fact, people who would be diamonds or people who've accomplished something don't go bragging about race. They brag about their own personal accomplishments or their families close by. It's people who haven't accomplished anything, who hate their life, who need to make racial braggadocio claims. And that goes to the both sides. The Mexican movement tries to make it about race too. It has nothing to do with race. All white Americans are not nativists. And the Mexican movement isn't the only group that has some Native American ancestry in them. Just because they want to claim that they're Mexica, even though 90% of them in the Mexican movement have more European ancestry than they have Native American, and have no clue what their Native American ancestry really is, so they claim Mexico. Well, the fact of the matter is there's a lot of European Americans who are in the same situation. They might have less Native American than most Mexicans, but that doesn't mean they don't have Native American ancestry. Are we going to start installing blood quantums now? I mean, we've seen what's happened with the Native Americans with that. So who's to decide what the blood quantum is to decide if you're worth staying in this continent or not? Racialists don't have a solution. All they do is bitch. They bitch because they have nothing in their own lives and they haven't accomplished anything, nor will they. So they try to get false pride based on race and blame other people for their failures. Now to the Arizona law. Obviously, I don't think that immigration laws per se are correct, but the Arizona law, as it was written and thankfully postponed, would violate constitutional rights. Not only would many Hispanics be profiled, assumed to be foreign, discriminated, stopped for no other reason that they look Hispanic. And to be honest, usually that means to look a little bit more Native American. Because they're not going to be stopping the lightest looking Native Americans or Latinos. They're going to be stopping the ones that look more Native American, the ones with browner skin, the ones with a little bit of an accent. But again, nativists forget their history. A lot of these Latinos, these Hispanics, these Mexican Americans, whatever you want to call them, didn't migrate into the U.S. The U.S. expanded into them, beginning with Louisiana and then Texas, California, etc. They were already there. They never migrated in to the U.S. The U.S. absorbed them. They've always been speaking those languages. Those languages have always been a part of the U.S. There's a reason why English is not a constitutionally official language of the country. It is a de facto language of usage that's official, but it is not constitutionally official. So if a city with majority Hispanics chooses to speak Spanish more, tough luck. That's the way it happens in lots of countries in the world. Spanish has always been a part of the United States. So have Native American languages. Then let's take out the Latinos out of the equation. Say no Mexican American kept on coming in. No Central American. All these people that you claim are illegal immigrants that are destroying the culture, blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter is that the way that Arizona law is formulated, creating racial profiling, would target people that the cops might think are illegal immigrants. Well, who are the people that they're going to be looking at? Like I said, the ones that look more Native American. What is Arizona? Arizona is one of the states with the largest amounts of Native American tribes, reservations, in the U.S. What languages do they speak? Navajo, Paiute, etc. Guess what? When they speak English, lots of times they speak with an accent. They are American citizens who fought in every single one of our wars, who have every right to be here, and the Arizona law would target them. They look Native American because they are Native American, just like many Latinos. They have an accent because they also speak another language that's not English. So why should they have to walk around with documents to make sure they're not deported out of the country any more than any European looking Arizonan, or whatever you call people who live there? If you're going to make a law that people have to carry around documents, then it should be every single person in Arizona. They stop your kid who's like 16, 17 years old, he's riding his bike, he might do a small infraction, almost ran over that old lady by accident. So the cop pulls him over. He doesn't have his ID? Well, tough. Deport him over the border. Let him figure out how to get back in the U.S. I don't care if he's blonde and blue-eyed, because if you don't do that, then it's racial profiling. This pendejo that's a sheriff over there, you know who he's targeting. He's not going after European-looking people. He doesn't ask for their ID. He doesn't check their immigrant status when they don't look more Native American. He doesn't check their status when they look European, even if they're white trash, or maybe from the ghetto visiting by. Because see, we got lots of criminals in all our groups. We got crap in all our groups. Shoot, there's people here that are legal residents, even in the Latino community. Some of the gang members, they should be deported, even if they were born here and they're citizens. But they should be deported along with the white criminals, the black criminals, the Asian criminals. The moment you target just one group, that's racial profiling and unconstitutional. Well, that's my thought on it. You asked, I answered.